So I didn't check this out with you guys, and I want to do it quickly. I am celebrating Mother's Day with my mother-in-law and my mother-in-law twice removed, I guess, down in Miami today. So I have to go pretty quickly. So we're gonna rush through this one. But I wanna talk about it with you, and I think it would be good to have up on YouTube as well. This is Patchwatch. Niku posted it. Once again, there is a mistake in this that he wasn't aware of. I made him aware of it last night. He said he'll probably edit it or post something else on Monday because, yeah, again, developers deserve weekends. That's kind of silly if they don't. Hey, Elliot, what's up, dude? So we are checking out the first thing. Awesome improvement to refineries. This is where the mistake is, by the way. We've made a number of targeted improvements for mining gameplay out in Alpha 4.1, including adjusting mining lasers and their modules. I did not know this, and I'm not aware of these, so I'm going to go to SP Viewer at some point this weekend and take a look at this, and maybe I'll include these in Weekend Review or something. I didn't know that this stuff existed, and I don't know what's been changed, so I'm kind of interested to see if anything has been, because it doesn't feel like it has been. So this is to improve difficulty scaling, better mineable distribution for FPS and vehicle mining, and better rock and Atlas geo handling. I mean, we've seen that kind of stuff. And then various bug fixes as well. Among these quality of life updates, refineries can now refine output directly into your local inventory, while ore bags now properly attached to cargo grids and freight elevators. This is where the mistake is. We are aware the ore bags are slightly bigger than 2 SCU. You're welcome, which can make it more difficult to place on certain cargo grids, but we have no immediate plans to adjust this. We have, however, fixed the refineries eating up your containers. They have adjusted it already, and I think in a smart way, if they keep it this way, or a fine way, an acceptable way, is MISC bags do attach to 2 SCU cargo grids, whereas 2 high cargo grids where Argo bags do not, because MISC bags are exactly 8 SCU, which are 2 high cargo grids, and Argo bags are slightly larger. They're 12 SCU, which you can argue would be taller and doesn't make any sense to fit on a 2 SCU grid. So it kind of logically makes sense. If they're going to leave it that way for a while and have no plans to make any of those changes, I think it's sort of appropriate. But physically, the items are exactly the same size. So it's weird. It makes no sense from that standpoint. Also, the Argo raft cannot use Argo mole bags is also very odd. So yeah. Can you fit MISC bags on a mole? Probably, but I don't know why you would, because you would lower your SCU amount, but that might make sense for our group mining thing. I like where your head's at. And then component balance pass. I mentioned this in our react for the Chinese bar citizen thing. This is quite cool what they're doing. So ship components based on their class type, and these are the changes that they decided to make. Civilians are average with low maintenance overhead. Competition, high performance, and low weight. And weight matters for racing, which is kind of cool with low durability. And then fewer power management things. And it's the loudest in terms of signature. Industrial is heavy and power hungry. This class excels in durability and heat management, so you would never put an industrial thing on a racing ship because it would slow you down. Again, I do not like creating solutions for these developers. I like to just say, and this is why I come off as a complainer. This is how you're supposed to give feedback, is like, I don't like the way this feels, and this is why I don't like the way it feels, and then the feedback has to stop right there, because they have better solutions to the problems than you do, typically. The weight idea is a huge, awesome change for competition stuff, or idea for competition stuff. It might have been there the whole time, and I just never noticed it. And then it has high heat management as well as lower maintenance costs. I don't think we know much about heat just yet, but maybe we will. Military, extremely durable, highly configurable with the highest output of any class at the cost of huge emissions and power consumption. And then stealth obviously is fragile. Their output is in the middle of the pack. I think their output should be the lowest. Personally, I think you should have to make serious fucking choices if you're using stealth, and you should have way less power towards certain things. Like, you should not be able to be full shields and full weapons while in stealth. That's crazy. However, they consume very little power, have lower minimum power consumption, and produce extremely low signature emissions. Okay. The reduced minimum consumption makes them more flexible for power management. Again, they shouldn't have flexible power management. It should be very fixed and very difficult. It should come at a larger cost than it does. That's why stealth is the meta, is because the costs aren't high enough. And that's my feedback there is stealth's still the meta based off of all of these conversations, right? Unless you're racing. Shield gen changes. Those were power plants, I believe, correct? Or just general? But then they're doing specific shield gen ones because I guess they needed a little bit more delicate changes because they're so unique from everything else. Again, civilian average competition, excellent shield regen, and a rather quick reboot after collapse, but lower max health. Again, for competition, I don't even understand why we would even have competition shields. So they're a weird one, right? Is shields and racing, do they go hand in hand? Probably not that well at the moment. And like I would literally remove the shield component altogether to go faster, right? Because if you crash, you die, so it doesn't matter. Industrial, the highest health pool amongst all the classes. However, regen is slow and reboot time after collapse is long. I think the expectation is collapsing is going to happen more often in the future with engineering. So the reboot time and collapsing and all that stuff is going to play a factor at some point, but doesn't. And they also tank the most damage. Military, both strong in health and regen, making it the go-to for direct combat. Downsides include a longer reboot after collapse. I want to make sure that this is very clear of why I would choose an industrial shield over a military shield or a competition shield as a miner. It is so industrial. Like, remember, my feedback around industrial stuff is you have to give me a reason to use an industrial shield on an industrial ship if you actually want me to do this. Like, these naming conventions make no sense if I'm going to use a competition one, right? And how they want to do it is, well, what is a miner's goal when they're getting attacked? It's to get out, right? So if I'm able to tank shield damage for as long as possible, that would be really great. I hope industrial quantum drives have a increased resistance to like QED mechanics would be a good thing. Like maybe they need 2 QEDs to make sure that you are held down, or distortion or something to that effect. Again, military we just went over, and stealth is the lowest health and regen rate, but reboots extremely quickly. Great for skirmishes or situations where you need to get in and out fast, which is cool. And then Wicklow currency, we know a lot about this. Guild strip, ace helmets, junior Valacar fangs, and yeah. They kind of explain once you get an ace pilot, you'll know. There'll be a voice line. They tell you what to do. And they opened the upstairs of Wicklow, which is very neat. Improved looting. I never saw this change, so I'm very curious about this. I'll jump in game and check it out probably tomorrow morning. Is the F prompt should be a lot easier to see and not as difficult to loot things now, because that is a pain in the ass, and I'm glad they did that, because the accidental pickups and just general chaos was awful. We know all about the Argo Raft, which is great. 192 SCU, but again, a too high grid, which is a problem, and that's where they leave it. It's somewhat of a problem, but such a great improvement that it's hard to feel bad or negative about that. So really good post. Again, one minor error there, and it's in a good way, like they actually address something. So just making sure that we have that out there and post that up on the TV channel or something like that as well. But all of this stuff is very, very, very cool. I don't know why they post this image. Again, are the people who make this game just so disconnected that you don't refine from here? So I think this is what base building will look like one day, right? I think that's what they're trying to sell to you there on the picture for the binding bags. But yeah, great post. Really excited for a lot of this stuff in 4.1.1. Because it's all very small, incremental stuff that leads to a better experience overall. One of the things that just happened last night is you can quantum travel to ships that you own that you are not in. If somebody else is flying them, you can quantum travel to them. Or if you want to leave like a base of operation ship that you're managing your cargo out of, you could do that. or if you die in a bunker or at a cave, you can get back to it extremely easily, right? So very cool stuff. That is like the on the road to 1.0 kind of stuff that is really great quality of life that we needed. So that's another thing that I'm sure they'll do another Patch Watch post about, or we'll just see it in the notes when it's released. So really, really cool. And honestly, excited for 4.1.1. Really am.